Here at the Community Services Clearinghouse, we have been painting all morning long and we're making quite a bit of progress. Just take a look. We've got 2 walls covered, working on the 3rd and 4th right now. But this is only one of the projects Community Services needs help with today. They also need help with organizing, cleaning, as well as shredding documents. And today, people in the community are showing organizations like this one that they care by volunteering their time to give back. The Community Clearinghouse has quite a bit of projects that they're working on, and they work every day to help people in the community, including the elderly, people with disabilities, and families in crisis. One of the biggest projects the organization does is the Backpack Project, where they pack meals for underprivileged kids to take home for the weekends. They give out meals to close to 3,000 kids per week. Now, this is just one of the many organizations in the community getting some help today. This is United Way of Fort Smith's 25th annual Day of Caring, and representatives tell us more than 1,200 people are volunteering to work on 116 projects today.
We have projects, some very easy projects at the dental clinic, or our Project Compassion, where we have volunteers going out and visiting with our seniors in those facilities. And we have some heavy-duty projects such as mulching Garrison Avenue, working on our parks, painting our Boys and Girls Club, Girls Inc. We've got a playground going in out at the Crisis Intervention Center.
Now, the festivities kick off today with the community breakfast at 8 o'clock this morning, and 45 minutes after, well, that's when the projects will get underway. But I do want to remind you, if you are volunteering today for the Day of Caring, you're going to want to remember and want to wear clothes that you're okay with getting messy, especially if you're painting or doing yard work, anything like that. Paint's getting everywhere, in my hair, on my clothes, everywhere. So you're going to want to be prepared for that. Live in Fort Smith, Megan Key, 4029 News. The company is assessing the damage after a fire in Fayetteville. Fayetteville and West Fork fire departments responded to a fire at Elkhart Products on South School Avenue. Now, crews tell us the building was occupied, but thankfully there were no injuries. The cause of the fire is unclear, but it started in an air handling unit on the roof. There is damage to the building, but it's not a total loss. And new this morning, police say they've spoken with a possible witness in an accidental death in Fort Smith. Fort Smith police say 48-year-old Josh Underwood died from extreme hypothermia. He was found early Sunday morning in a shopping plaza parking lot. Police had released an image of a potential witness. Officers say he has contacted police and has been interviewed. And police are stepping up patrols near one school after a student said a stranger approached him demanding he get in the car. Police say it happened near Northridge Middle School. The student told a school resource officer that a man attempted to get the student in his car.
It may be a little too soon to call it an attempted kidnapping. There was no physical force or anything like that. However, it definitely is suspicious to us, and we don't know whether or not that was the intentions of the suspect in this incident.
Very concerning. Well, right now, police do not have much of a description of the suspect other than he's an older man with gray hair who was driving a black older model Honda Accord. If you have any information, they ask you give them a call. And Governor Hutchinson says enrollment in the state's Medicaid program is dropping, and it could drop even further. Enrollment is down by more than 117,000 people between last year to this year. Nearly half of that number came from the state's hybrid expansion, which uses Medicaid funds to purchase private insurance for low-income families. And that number could change as the Trump administration prepares to release guidelines requiring Medicaid recipients to work. The guidelines will outline what work requirements states can add to the Medicaid programs. Now, recipients under 50 years old would be required to work, participate in job training, or volunteer, though there would be some exceptions. And Arkansas was one of the states to file for those requirements last summer, but Governor Hutchinson stressed it was about creating jobs, not cutting coverage.
It doesn't mean those 60,000 that are moving off of Arkansas Works has no health care. It simply means that they move to the marketplace with the same level of financial support that they have now.
The governor's office says more than 106,000 Arkansans were referred to the Department of Workforce Services. Now, out of that, 3,000 people were reported to have gotten a job. Families waking up without a home after a fire in Fort Smith. Now, we're about to take a live look outside of South Point Apartments on 28th Street, where dispatchers tell 4029 16 units were destroyed by a late-night fire. Several families were displaced by that fire, but we're told that thankfully no one was injured. Crews are currently investigating what caused that blaze. And this morning, families in Cave Springs are waking up with drinkable water. Mayor Travis Lee says that a boil order is in place west of Highway 112 on Highway 264 and west of Osage Creek. Now, the city had a water main break, and although water has been restored, the boil order is still in effect until further notice.
And it's also the final day of the 2018 Winter Olympics.
Exciting. Norway was the runaway winner in the medal count with 14 gold and 39 overall. Germany and Canada came in second and third in the medal count, and the U.S. came in fourth with a total of 23 medals. But I think we did pretty good. 23 medals, that's a lot.
It is.
The county sheriff now investigating the 4 deputies that rushed to that deadly scene but remained outside the school. Their actions are drawing outrage from the community, who say they could have done more.
You were trained for this, you were armed, had a bulletproof vest, you were protected more than anybody else who died.
Students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High and the number of companies cutting business ties with the National Rifle Association continues to grow. Delta and United Airlines are the latest to pull back, saying they will no longer offer flight discounts to NRA members. More than a dozen companies have cut perks and discounts for members amid criticism over the NRA's refusal to back stronger gun laws. Teachers across Oklahoma protesting ahead of a looming walkout that could shut down schools across the state. On Friday, teachers in Sequoyah County were out holding signs that said, "Honk if you support education." According to the Oklahoma Education Association, teachers need a $10,000 raise and school districts need to be properly funded. Now, if state lawmakers don't respond in ways they deem appropriate, a pending walkout is scheduled for April 2nd.
We're not here for our benefit. We're here for the kids. You know, yes, we would like a raise, but the most of it is we're looking for funding for education, and we have been cut tremendously over the last 10 years, and we need those funds to properly educate our kids. We want them to get a hold of their legislators and let them know that our kids are our future.
Teachers say they need the community to contact legislators and demand action. Now, ahead of the teachers' strike, Oklahoma's largest teachers union is proposing tax hikes. The Oklahoma Education Association proposed tax increases on oil and gas, cigarettes, alcohol, motor fuel, lodging, and internet sales. Now, while the union showed up with the proposal, state lawmakers began a 3-day weekend.
We cannot and will not continue letting the legislature to shortchange our children. They are our future, and we deserve nothing but the best for them.
The OEA is demanding a $10,000 pay raise for teachers and $5,000 raise for support personnel over the next 3 years. They also want $200 million in additional funding for public schools and $500 million for state employees and other agencies. And at the state capitol this week, a destroyed 10 Commandments monument will be replaced. The Secretary of State's office says the new monument will go up on Thursday, nearly a year after a Van Buren man intentionally crashed his car into it. The new monument was paid for by private donations and will include 4 concrete posts for protection. And the deadline to register to vote is almost here. We'll tell you what you need to know, plus what you'll see on the ballot coming up.
Turning to the nation's capital, Attorney General Jeff Sessions reportedly threatening to resign if President Trump fires his deputy, Rod Rosenstein.
The turmoil is reportedly due to the FBI raid on the home and office of Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, which was approved by Rosenstein. Documents seized in the raid are reported to include files detailing the payments made to Stormy Daniels. And Congressman Steve Scalise is recovering after being released from the hospital after a new round of surgery. The Louisiana Republican was shot and severely wounded last June when a man opened fire on lawmakers at a charity baseball event. And some sad news to report this morning.
Yeah, Vern Troyer, best known for playing Mini-Me in the Austin Powers films, has died.